Hello? Anyone here? Am I the first one here? I mean, that never happens. Just ask my husband. Oh man, did I do it again? Better call Nancy. Yeah, hey Nancy, this is Robin. I'm at the Hyatt and no one's here except for a vacuum. Is the annual meeting today? Oh, it's not today. Okay. It's when? Oh yeah, I got a problem. I'm gonna be in Atlanta for a Roper meeting that day, and I don't think the CEO would be happy with me if I didn't show for that one. Hey, I see a guy with a video camera. How would I ask him if he'd just shoot us a quick video? Okay. Yeah, we'll do that. All right. Thanks, Nancy. We'll talk to you later. Good evening, everyone. Although I can't be with you this evening, it is an honor to welcome you to the first Greater Iowa City Inc.'s annual meeting. I'm Robin Thurm, the president of Civco Medical Solutions and Greater IC's Transition Board executive chair. This work is so important now more than ever because our country, our state, our community is changing. As leaders in the community, we need to be not just keeping up with the change, but driving the change and making sure the greater Iowa City area is at the forefront of it all. I am so excited to share the beginning of all of this work with you this evening. Here to do that is the Greater IC President and CEO, Nancy Bird. When we hired Nancy in June, we were looking for someone who could literally hit the ground running, someone who knows the area, the key players, and is ready to step in and take action. Through working with her in these last few months, we've seen her dedication to the work, her bold vision for our community, and her tireless work to take the greater Iowa City to this next step. We also have the Interim Athletic Director, Beth Goetz, with us here this evening. How exciting is that? Did you see Beth Goetz at the Big Ten Media Conference? She really stood out. She's going to make a change, and not just the Big Ten, but in our community. I know you're in good hands with Nancy this evening, and I look forward to her sharing our new strategy and investment model with you. Let's bring to the stage Nancy Bird.
Good evening and welcome. It's good to see Robin Thurm on the big screen. She'll step into any role, won't she? From Civco president to watching her courtside on national TV cheering on the Hawks. You just never know what you're going to get, but it's always something really great. I'm Nancy Bird, president of Greater IC, and on behalf of our team and board members, thank you for joining us here this evening. It's really nice to see so many familiar faces in the room. Before we dive in, I'd like to share some gratitude. I want to first acknowledge our annual meeting sponsors. So if you see all the table tents on the tables, your support and continued investment in our work makes a difference now more than ever. And truly, I want to thank everyone in this room, our members, our volunteers, the ambassadors, our champions, our supporters. As I learned about the entirety of the past business partnership and ICAD programs, I'm really amazed at the outreach and dedication to the economic health of this community by these organizations. Change takes time, and we sincerely appreciate your belief in us and this new organization as it evolves, so thank you. I want to specifically highlight our Transition Executive Board of Directors. As you know, this is the board that hired me roughly 5 months ago to help set a direction that will position us to learn from lessons of the pandemic and to drive opportunities for economic prosperity across Johnson County and the broader region. One of the major changes at Greater IC is in its leadership. It's not easy for volunteer boards to take on such huge responsibilities outside of their existing day jobs, and if you're on a board, you know that. But this board has done just that. Due to their dedication and commitment to the belief that Greater IC can be so much more, they've made some pretty bold decisions that I'm excited to share with you this evening. Will the Greater IC Board of Directors please stand? Please join me in giving them a round of applause. Someone said to me recently that they know how hard it is to start something new, but you have no idea how hard it is to unwind something old. For wading through the many bylaws, legal documents, financial reporting, and paperwork, a special thanks goes out to Robin, Dazzy Wallace, Todd Means, and Mary Willie. Getting beyond the merger has been an undertaking, and I'm really glad it's getting behind us. I also want to thank our dedicated staff. I can't tell you how important it is that this team has been able to continue the daily work of servicing new companies interested in the Iowa City area, supporting businesses that are looking for ways to grow, working with the entrepreneur that is poised to jump, and helping to set up events that allow you to commingle and find ways to collaborate, then doing their very best to share what's happening in the region with you all. Thank you to the Greater IC team for your incredible commitment, your patience, your professionalism, and love for our community. Would our staff please stand up and be recognized? We've gotten to know each other pretty quickly here, so it's been great. We also want to thank our peer economic development partners. Will the staff and board members from the following organizations please stand and stay standing? Better Together 2030, Think Iowa City, the Iowa City Downtown District, South of 6 Business District, and the Cedar Rapids Metro Economic Alliance. It's a privilege to work alongside you, and we look forward to working with you in the coming years. Finally, I would like to acknowledge and thank our elected and city officials, along with our strong partners at the Iowa City Community School District and the University of Iowa. I can already tell that the relationships that were built during the COVID era will be helpful to us moving forward. We are so appreciative of the working relationships we have with each of you. If you are a federal, state, or local elected official, school board member, or member of the University of Iowa's leadership, please stand. It's no secret that I'm a big fan of President Barb Wilson and the direction she is setting at the University of Iowa. I told her that the next year we'll try not to plan this event at the same time as the Board of Regents meeting so she can come. She would have been here, but it's a crowded event schedule for sure. Now I'd like to get to the nuts and bolts of the future path of Greater IC. As I thought about how to share our new direction, I decided it would be helpful to start by sharing your direction to us, the Greater IC staff, and a little bit about my journey to lead this group. In March of 2023, the Business Partnership and ICAD commissioned a focus group with the business community to get some input on the organization's future direction. I wanted to share with you what you had said. The members' investors want a clear plan and don't think they have one today. A few are aware of a 2030 vision. The highest value of Greater IC is as a leader and driver of important and difficult change, tackling the hardest challenges. The members' investors do not want the Greater IC staff to conduct the work by ourselves. They want a role in tackling the problems and are ready to commit to doing the work. The members' investors want an advocate for business, and they don't perceive having it today. The members' investors want a convener that will help them help each other. They recognize it's not easy. In fact, it's the most difficult work, but it's very high-value work for the community and their business. So Greater IC staff, do less so you can focus on this. The members' investors want to be part of the success because it's very personal for them. They want to be energized and feel proud. The members' investors are willing to put their money forward, but they would prefer one ask over many to reduce everyone's administrative time. There was a lot more information in the report, but I thought this summarized the state of affairs nicely, and I have to admit, I was one of the voices that encouraged a more holistic approach. As I read the report summary, I thought it was quite insightful for a few of these themes. There's a lot of wisdom here as to what makes our community so wonderful. It's not all about dollars and cents. It's not all about productivity or even efficiency. This organization is meant to be a collaborative network with a heavy emphasis on network. And this network of both public and private sector leaders should support meaningful, productive community dialogue that inspires the best of us, and in doing so, promotes meaningful change. We have to do it together. That's been the magic of past success. That's been the magic of the Iowa City Downtown District and the fundraising around the North Liberty Centennial Park, and the planning around the Extreme Arena, and the success of Shelter House's Cross Park Place, and the creativity of the Coralville Food Pantry, and the South of Six Business District, and the list goes on and on and on. We need to be adding fuel to these efforts together. Incrementally, we've made major strides in the past decade. So here's how the merged organization of Greater IC is responding to your feedback. The first point, we are shaking it all up. Currently, we have roughly 800 members and investors, but according to the 2021 US Census, we have roughly 3,400 businesses in our county. How can we be the voice of business if we're only working with 40% of the businesses? This is a brand new organization, and we believe that our first step should be an inclusive one. That's why we want to make sure that we are creating space and services for all businesses in Johnson County. If you are located here, consider yourself a member. This is a foundational change, and it feels like the best and right move. So you might be asking yourself, but I pay member dues or financially vest in other ways. And what does this mean for me and my services? As you will see in the campaign brochures in front of you, starting July 1st, 2024, we are changing the manner in which we invite you to invest in our new organization. If you were previously members of the business partnership, you will continue to have tiered levels of service similar to what you're used to, but you will now be called investors, and those services that you enjoy are still tied to your investment. However, we feel really good about now offering a level of open access opportunities for businesses that are just starting out in the community and just moving in, or those that are struggling and in need of some help and could use a technical assist, or those entrepreneurs who are interested in starting a business and need encouragement and mentoring. We need to support these folks to help grow our base economy and ensure the rising tide lifts all boats. Having said this, we aspire for everyone eventually to become an investor in Greater IC. After all, you're investing in support services and you will receive, and you are investing in each other. You are investing in the growth of your neighbor, and they in turn are investing in yours. You are investing in every council, task force, forum, lunch connection, workforce initiative, grant, and opportunity to engage with one another moving forward. This is your investment in the economic resiliency of Johnson County. The second point, what's the plan? Well, we have a plan. The All-In Vision Plan was adopted in 2021 by all of our jurisdictions in the University of Iowa. It's a unique time in our history to have each of our public jurisdictions and major community stakeholders, including large companies, accept the All-In Vision Plan as the North Star for the greater Iowa City area. Now our job is to refine the work within each pillar and see it into implementation. As many of you know, the All-In Vision Plan was born of the region's leadership response to COVID-19. This effort proved that regional cooperation is not only possible, but necessary to achieve success. Better Together 2030 is the nonprofit charged to steward this plan for all of us. This is the plan that is intended to guide us to economic resiliency if we collaborate together on it. It identifies projects under 5 pillars. Pillars 2, 3, and 4 are quintessential economic development initiatives that also support our local workforce. Johnson County, the cities of Iowa City, North Liberty, Coralville, and the University of Iowa have all agreed to support this plan, and the Greater IC Board has directed us to figure out how to use our resources to support integrated solutions around inclusive economic development, regional mobility, and vibrant neighborhoods. So we recently extended the funding necessary to employ Katie Gerlach, the Executive Director of BT 2030, onto the Greater IC staff in a dual role as Senior Director of Community Development to integrate pillars 2, 3, and 4 into the work of Greater IC. This 501c3 Community Development Corporation, using this 501c3 Development Corporation in this way, allows us the opportunity to buy property, receive federal funds, and conduct the public-private partnerships needed to support a thriving, inclusive economic ecosystem and strong neighborhoods. It will be up to us to define this work moving forward. I can't say enough about how lucky we are in the region to have Katie in our corner. She's whip smart and she gets things done. She can't implement the All-In Vision Plan and get it funded on her own. She needs us and we need her. Like the Sports Commission to Think Iowa City, BT 2030 is a new tool as a community development corporation in the Greater IC toolbox. This is important, difficult, and high-value work that will allow us to forge new paths into economic development that have yet to be seen in past chamber and ICAD partnerships. We look forward to reporting out next year's fruits of this new partnership that are already in progress. Third, the spring survey said that you want a business advocate. As you know, Greater IC recently hired Mackenzie DeRue to take on local advocacy and state and federal policy priorities. Mackenzie came from the University of Iowa Tippie School of Business and Corporate Development and has jumped in with both feet to set the stage for positive, constructive local advocacy. Anyone who has any experience in politics or policy knows that what worked for the chamber of yesterday needs reimagining today to be effective. And I would argue that it is a faulty assumption that public-private collaboration is a choice, when in actuality, it's an imperative if our economy is to be resilient. We are excited about these opportunities and know the forums to come will be tackling challenging but meaningful conversations. So for Greater IC to hit its mark, we need an entirely new way to organize with you. Our organizing principles need to be recognizable. They must also allow for innovation and staff support from our team. We heard that this work is important to you, that you want to be part of the problem solving. We heard that this is personal and that you care about each other and want to succeed. In that vein, we have decided to set up innovation councils to help us organize in a similar manner as those run by our neighbors to the north. These innovation councils have been very effective organizing tools for the Cedar Rapids Metro Economic Alliance, and organizing in this way will allow us to collaborate with their councils when we discover targeted projects that rise to the top. That's good regionalism. As investors, we encourage you to get involved on one of these 4 councils. The Executive Council will be the new name of our new board. An Economic Development Innovation Council will be led by Austin Corns. Austin has been with ICAD for 3 years and will lead the strategy and development for this work. Austin has been instrumental over the years ushering in industry leads and supporting creative infrastructure opportunities. This council will oversee rural opportunities and support for smaller communities in Johnson County, as well with Sarah Thompson. A Business Support and Innovation Council will be led by Liz Hubing. Liz has been with ICAD for over 5 years and will lead the workforce, business support, and entrepreneurial efforts with a wide team that supports business engagement. And last, we will host a Community Development Council led by Katie Gerlach. Katie will integrate emerging neighborhood efforts with interested business and community leadership. We recognize that the work of these councils can't be done in large settings. The councils are meant to encourage community and to bring attention to issues that we should all be considering together. From these settings, we will be establishing smaller task force and special forums to establish a path forward to defining solutions to our local issues. We know this is a huge undertaking. That's why Greater IC has invested in the Gazette and the Corridor Business Journal to help us share the stories of our progress and support your efforts as local business and community leaders. Their forums will augment our work, and we're appreciative of their efforts to continue to report on local news that matters. This organization is investing in journalism. We hope you will find plenty of opportunities here to get involved. Meaningful work is one of the best ways to develop your leadership skills, and there is plenty to do. We hope you will find your path to engage with us in this new organization. The old adage rings true time and time again. What you put into it, you will get out of it. This was certainly true at my past work with the Iowa City Downtown District. That group of leaders really understands this. They care a lot. They put their money where their mouth is, and they get a lot of amazing things done. I credit them for showing me what good collaboration looks like and the importance of showing up. I think as a larger area, we are poised to make great progress, but we need to organize effectively to get the work done. Because there isn't an inclusive countywide model like ours that we've seen function quite like this, we'll have a lot to prove. So I thank our early investors who are behind us. This time next year, I can promise you we won't be talking about process and mergers. We'll be addressing the work ahead around workforce solutions, public-private partnerships, the progress of our advocacy, and the growth of emerging businesses. The true success of the organization will be in our ability to meet many small goals that lead to large endeavors over time, and establishing a sense of belonging for everyone involved while doing it. Okay, now it's time to admit that I know why you are all really here. And I'll get out of the way for our next speaker. Beth Goetz, the Interim Athletic Director at the University of Iowa, is someone who knows about risk, making hard decisions, and pushing change forward. We are seeing it bear out in another amazing season of Hawkeye sports. Beth knows a thing or two about teamwork. Before I welcome Beth Goetz to the stage, please enjoy this video highlighting her leadership and the key ideas she uses to inspire those around her.
Who would have thought that a small-town kid from Iowa would be here today?
Can't thank them enough for all they've done. And each and every one of these guys really has embodied, what it means to be a Hawkeye.
Seriously, this is a great moment for us as a university. We have an incredible thing here, and we're not done yet.
The Portland Trail Blazers select Chris Murray from the University of Iowa.
Fans rise to their feet at a packed Dwayne Banks Field today. Cold third strike.
The thing that I appreciate the most about Spencer Lee is he never batted an eye and shied away from it because he is a ferocious competitor. Make no mistake about it.
Sanford! Inconceivable! Iowa wins it!
How did this team do it? Very few thought you could.
You know, all we do is believe in one another, and we love each other to death. I mean, that's what a true team is.
There's nothing like being a part of Hawkeye Nation.
We gon' take it to the top. We ain't never giving up. We ain't never gonna stop till the very last second. We're running out the clock.
Here's Clark. She fires. The Hawkeyes are headed to the national championship game.
We're going to the national championship!
To the very last second till we're running out the clock. We ain't never backing down. We ain't never gonna stop. We gon' take it to the limit. We gon' take it to the top. We ain't never giving up. We ain't never gonna stop till the very last second till we're running out the clock.
Please help me welcome Beth Goetz.
Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you, Nancy, for the invitation to be with you tonight. Pinch hitting for President Wilson is no small feat, so I thought if I could just get Caitlin to join me here tonight, that would be a home run, right? But it turns out the only stage she likes to perform on is at Carver Hawkeye Arena, so you'll be stuck with my pregame speech here, but it really is such a pleasure to be with you all tonight. As some of you may know, I've been in Iowa City just over a year now, and I'm truly grateful to be part of such a wonderful and welcoming community. On my first night in Iowa City, I stayed just down the street here at Staybridge for about 6 weeks upon my arrival while I was looking for a place to live. And I find as soon as I walk into my room, a welcome basket from Iowa City, from Josh and his team. Not from my employer, but from the community. And I thought, wow, this is different. I unload the car, and I go down the road to stock up on some groceries at Hy-Vee, doing my best to stick to my commitment not to eat at all the wonderful restaurants down here every night for 6 weeks. And I look around the store, and as I'm walking up and down the aisles, I see people in Hawkeye gear. Well, keep in mind, this is the first time I've really lived in a college town. So I'm thinking, I wonder if I work with these individuals. I bet they must. I bet they work in athletics. No, of course they don't. We are all Hawkeye fans in this community. And again, something is different here. Something is special here. I've watched that video at least 100 times. And for those of you who have come to Carver in the last few months, it's often on a loop as you walk in the lobby. Our creative team does such an excellent job of capturing the special moments of our athletes and teams, and they annually put together a highlight reel to showcase all of our sports. This summer, I asked our leadership team to read a chapter from the book called Atomic Habits. It tells the story of the British cycling team that is intentional about focusing on the aggregation of marginal gains. Getting 1% better across all you do adds up and can be the difference between success and failure, and even more importantly, between good and great. They went from being one of the worst in the world to the best in just a few years. A member of our team ran with that and added the words to this highlight video that you just saw. And our staff talked about how do we build on the success that the Hawkeyes had last year. Let's find ways to keep getting 1% better. I'd say the Hawks are doing just fine so far this year. Excellence is always in the margins. Sometimes it means steady improvement, a change in habit, more focus, intentional practice, better tools, or taking individuals that are great on their own and making them excellent as part of a team, or taking two groups, merging them together to be greater. I've always loved being a part of a team. Of course, we think of sports, and that's where I found my passion, but I've always seen any group working together, whether it be a church or a business or a community, as a team. For me, I think it started with family. I'm the oldest of 4 girls and used to love that the community called us the Goetz girls. I always felt that collectively we are a force that would always outshine our best individual day or overcome our shortfalls. I was then and am now better because my sisters are on my team. We are better together. It's true for families, businesses, Hawkeye teams, and our community. In preparing for the opportunity to join you tonight, I learned about the history that led to this merger and creation of Greater Iowa City, Inc., serving all of Greater Iowa City. Better together is immediately what came to mind. There's just something so empowering about being a part of a team, knowing that what you can do as the sum of the parts is so much bigger than what you can do on your own. You share the same language, go Hawks. You wear the same black and gold colors. You all love a Carver cone. And you know exactly what someone is talking about when they mention swarm or the number 22. Being on a team makes you feel like you can accomplish anything. When you lose, the failure is softened, and when you have success, the victories are made sweeter because you are all in it together. For any Ted Lasso fans in the room, if you care about someone or something and you got a little love in your heart, there ain't nothing you can't get through together. I went from being a college athlete to a college coach and then administrator, over 25 years in now. And just as each of you know, and as part of your own teams, it's not always easy. I've been fortunate to be around some outstanding leaders in my time and have learned lessons that I try to emulate. Brad Stevens, the GM of the Celtics, is one of the best I've ever been around, and he always preached, how good can we expect to be if our best player is not our best teammate? My former boss was consistent in providing clear and candid feedback, requiring accountability, but demonstrating that that could be done with empathy and compassion. I still remember my college coach telling me, character is what you demonstrate when you think no one is looking. I try to carry all of those with me. We don't always get it right. I don't always get it right. We have conflict, we lose confidence, and often have to make tough decisions and sacrifices. But in the most challenging of moments, after the toughest loss, I believe we are better together. The more people are willing to share their own set of diverse experiences and talents, put others in a position to use their strengths, and commit to a shared goal, the stronger we can be. I see that daily in Hawkeye Athletics, a group incredibly committed staff and coaches with a passionate fan base here to support the success of our talented athletes in the classroom and in competition. I do not take for granted that I am around some of the best teams and leaders in the country every single day. Although I know our history here at Iowa, I've only witnessed it for just a short few months here. Tom Brands building on the legacy of Dan Gable, Kirk Ferentz, one of the winningest coaches in college football who directly follows Hayden Fry, Lisa Bluter, all these coaches right here in Iowa City. You've got Rick Heller, Lisa Salucci. I mean, we don't even play field hockey in this state. And then you have Caitlin Clark, who now has become a part of all of our stories, a generational athlete, and even better young woman. She cares about teams, and she chose to make hers better. She chose to make the game better. She chose to make the University of Iowa better, and she's inspired this entire state and beyond. I have to take just a quick moment to brag about our teams. Football with the share of the Big Ten West at 8-2, field hockey in the Sweet 16, soccer won a Big Ten championship, and they play in the second round of the NCAA tournament this weekend. Max Murphy heads to the NCAA cross-country championship. We had the first ever Hawkeye women's wrestling competition. Who knew you could win, by the way, 43-1? Men's wrestling is ranked number 3. Men's basketball is off to a great start with a really young team. Swimming just got their first win over a Big Ten victory over Nebraska. And women's basketball picked up exactly where they left off. Number 2 ranking, already a victory over a top 10 team. And we had about 55,000 of our closest friends watch them compete in Kenneck just a few weeks ago. As amazing as all that sounds, pair it with over 1,000 hours of community service so far, and we're tracking towards another semester of a department GPA over a 3.2. But they don't do all of this alone. Athletic trainers, academic advisors, amazing faculty, everyone has a role to play. Every individual has to understand how they contribute to the success daily, what they do impacts the ability for a team to win a championship or the department to reach its broader goals. Our alums, fans, campus, President Wilson provides leadership for us all. There is always another team around the team. These same teams exist in our hospitals and in our schools. They exist in our businesses and nonprofit groups, in our theaters and on our farms and throughout our communities. That is what I want to emphasize tonight as we gather here for this first annual meeting. The University of Iowa is all in on bringing all these teams together here today to ensure that there's an even better tomorrow. Like any organization, success requires an alignment of values and shared goals. In Iowa athletics, we are committed to serving our student athletes, the mission of the university, and being a source of pride for our fans. We understand we have a role to play in the success of our local economy. We take seriously our opportunity to inspire and bring this community together. And for all of these groups, we want to be about winning. Winning in competition, winning in the classroom, and winning as we develop these young men and women to be the next generation of leaders. When I met with Nancy about Greater IC, she shared what it meant to bring these two groups together, to be able to empower each other in the business community, to provide platforms for success that crossed boundaries that really didn't need to exist, and to support people from all backgrounds to help make our community stronger. And that really resonated with me, and I'm so excited about what that's going to mean for all of us who live here. And I was all in on that why, and we want to do our part in working to be greater together. We all have star players, number 22, Tori Taylor, Real Woods, Josie Durr, Nancy Bird, Josh Schamberger, but even with our stars, nobody is bigger than the team. That's the margin of excellence. This is the part of the 1%. We all know that when we work together, we are better together. We can be all in on success, and I know you will join me and the University of Iowa in being all in on Greater IC. Thanks for having me here tonight. Go Greater IC and go Hawks.
Thank you, Beth, for those words of wisdom and prioritizing the importance of meaningful change. Next up, I'd like to introduce to you three very inspiring individuals that are going to share a few brief words with you. Jenny Wunderlich is on the Greater IC board and is president of PSC Distribution and Studio H2O. V. Fixmer-Orez is founder of Astig Planning and a Johnson County supervisor. And Nick Lindsley, a 2020 National American Institute of Architects Award winner from Newman Munson Architects. Please help me welcome them to the stage.
Good evening. We are a small fourth-generation family business that has been a long-standing member of the Chamber, the Iowa City Area Business Partnership, and now Greater Iowa City. As you've seen and I spoke, I currently sit on the interim board, and oh my goodness, I'm so fortunate to have been able to do that, and so many of you to work with you as well and learn from you. I'm really thankful that the staff took so much time and effort to pool businesses of all sizes about this new investment process. And of course, all of us in business that were part of the business partnership are thinking, goodness, how are they going to keep businesses involved, right? How is this going to happen with economic development? But it's important that we work together. I mean, it couldn't have been a better intro here of we are better together. I have seen firsthand the importance of getting involved. I don't know how many times we could say it. Goodness, getting our company involved is probably brings the most rewards, not only for our business, but for the community as well and for us as individuals. Actively participating has dramatically increased that benefit. And getting to share with other community members and leaders about who we are is always beneficial, but the insights into the strategic growth and those plans help us better plan as a business. And I admit my new strongest reason for investing in Greater Iowa City stems from the blessing of currently being a part of CLP. The Community Leadership Program, I really didn't know what was involved with that. I've seen many of this current CLP class out here. It is incredible. The program has already helped me and our business with knowledge, tools, connections in the community. One specific tool they taught us at our retreat, I came back and purchased immediately for the company and absolutely started putting it right into practice, and it has helped our teams tremendously. I really strongly recommend all leaders check that out. Every single meeting, I have been challenged, humbled, and incredibly encouraged. I'm very, very thankful for this program, and Greater Iowa City puts that on. Overall, right, if we have strong businesses, that helps feed a strong community. But a strong community plan and strategic development helps our businesses. They all work together. And the team helps make this happen. But I think about, I played basketball. I wasn't maybe the greatest basketball player, but I had a lot of passion, which is one reason why I'm probably up here a little bit this evening. But goodness, I didn't want to be on the sidelines. And if I was, I'm going to be cheering. So I think it's so important that we realize, oh my goodness, if we want to impact, man, put some skin in the game and find something you are really passionate about. I think what's fascinating and wonderful about Greater Iowa City is that if you would comb the room here, we all have different passions, things that super duper fire us up. Get involved with those passions and give back to the community in that way and with your businesses, because it will absolutely help, not only you personally, professionally, but also for the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. I knew I did not want to go after you. Cool. My name is Vifix my pronouns are they, them, and I want to thank Nancy, Greater IC Inc., and everybody for being here tonight. I am here as a Johnson County supervisor and also as a small business owner. I started my company, Astig Planning, in 2019, and as a queer Filipinx-American business owner, I was incredibly fortunate to find a spot at a desk in Merge. And I didn't know it at the time, but I was seated amongst the ICAD and business partnership crew, now merged, and I was really around people who had deep connections in the entrepreneurial landscape. In short, I had access to resources most underestimated business owners do not have. I found out about the University of Iowa internship programs, business pitch opportunities, meeting spaces, and of course, incredibly valuable networking opportunities. Research within our own community demonstrates that business owners like me, underestimated individuals who are immigrants, BIPOC, people with disabilities, LGBTQ+, and women, have a hard time accessing loans, feeling comfortable walking into banks, going into City Hall to get those much-needed permits. And there are language barriers and cultural norms that make access to capital and infrastructure that much more difficult. So for me, sitting in the same room with economic development leaders in our community made all the difference. And despite a pandemic, my company will turn 5 in February, so yay. Yeah, feels like a milestone. On this journey, I have also had the utter privilege of getting to know other BIPOC, immigrant, mixed race, LGBTQ+ business owners and leaders in our community, our legislators, our city council members, other county supervisors. And I just want to take a moment to recognize those people in this room right now. So if you would stand up, please, and recognize the folks, our BIPOC leaders, our immigrants, people of color, LGBTQ+ people. I know I'm asking you to do something maybe uncomfortable, but if you could please stand, I would like to just recognize, thank you, Tracy, thank you, please. In the back, yes, thank you. Thank you so much. So when we talk about economic resiliency, we must keep in mind what we just saw, and then turn our attention to the changing demographics of our county. Right now in the Iowa City Consolidated School District, just about half of our students are of the global majority, are Black, Latinx, Indigenous, Asian, and other POC students. 13.4% are English language learners, and 11% are students with disabilities. So I ask you, the adults in the room, how will we build a community that will support their leadership, foster their entrepreneurial spirit? How will we also retain their talents and innovation? How will we build a business community where they will thrive? As a county supervisor, one path I feel acutely responsible is creating a more authentically diverse and culturally welcoming spaces in our county buildings. Whether that's when people seek permits for their restaurants from public health, or ask for assistance with land development opportunities from our planning department, it is incumbent upon us as leaders to remove those barriers to access and create spaces where people can authentically arrive. And we do this through policy and practice, truly investing in the shifting of our business culture to be authentically more inclusive. Another area of importance is public-private partnerships, which I believe create those creative opportunities to address pressing public needs. And one that I am incredibly proud of is how we are addressing childcare in our community. Right now, Johnson County is investing, Johnson County in partnership with Iowa City, Greater Iowa City, Inc., and our local businesses, we're investing together $1.6 million. To address childcare, and how we're doing that is very specific. A childcare wage enhancement project that is essentially helping childcare providers pay higher wages to attract and retain our expert staff. So we understand that people need to be able to go to work and have our babies taken care of, right? And it's a fundamental aspect, just as much as housing, childcare, transportation access. We understand as a community that it doesn't just happen in a silo, that economic development is our community. And this is just one of several projects that really aim to address poverty, that aim to address the widening wage gaps, and gendered and racial disparities. It's something I'm incredibly proud of, and you should be as well. It will take all of us working together to create the diverse, vibrant, and economically resilient community that is the Johnson County we know and love. And I hope you will join me and Greater IC Inc. in this work. Maraming salamat.
Yeah, so when I was asked to do this, I was like, at least I don't have to go after Beth, but I was wrong. So I'll keep it brief, but what I wanted to talk about is why investing in Greater Iowa City has been so important to Newman Munson Architects over the past few years, and ask a few questions, just 3 questions that may encourage some of you to invest in the organizations, or if you're already doing that, hopefully remind you of why you're doing it. So the first thing is, do you value relationships? And if you do, you know that this team does as well. You can't really come into Johnson County without running into one of their team members, and they seem to know everybody. Their connections have been very meaningful conduit for our team to help build and collaborate with stakeholders within the community on special projects and big ideas. Do you value teaching? Through their leadership, they bring inspired ideas to public forums, such as their fairly recent program called Build Johnson County. We've been able to partner with them at some of these events and also hear from other community stakeholders on really interesting things going on in the community and big ideas that can elevate this place forward. They support people asking questions like, what if our business community had an innovation district that was near downtown that could allow young businesses and incubator spaces to thrive, build on some of the strengths we have in the med and ed tech areas? What if we printed affordable housing for those with housing needs? And then the last thing is, do you value creativity and dreaming big? Because this team definitely does. They support big vision and big ideas that move the Iowa City Metro forward to help us remain competitive. You know, now more than ever, people are moving to cities, not because it's where their job is, it's because it's where they want to be. It's easy to work remotely, and we need to take advantage of that and understand that people want real experiences and places that match their lifestyle and inspire them. And we can do that by working with this group. Beth said in her speech, there's something different and something special about Iowa City, and it's very true, and it's something that this group innately understands and helps us to stand out and build partnerships that amplify our town across the state and region. So if you're not investing in the team yet, we highly encourage you to do so. We've seen a lot of positive benefits of building relationships with this group. Great group of people with an amazing leadership team. So thank you all for your attention tonight, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
Jenny, V, and Nick, thank you for sharing with us tonight and being important voices in our work. You will find the campaign brochures on your table and the pledge forms at the back as you leave. Feel free to contact any of us with any questions. In closing, I want to end by acknowledging a special group who has been the welcoming face of our business community for years, the Greater IC Ambassadors. They continue to welcome new businesses through ribbon cuttings and support businesses one connection at a time. This evening, they get to lead us in the ceremony they do so well, Greater Iowa City Inc.'s official ribbon cutting. If interested, you are invited to join us and our ambassadors for the official ribbon cutting at the back of the room in front of the arch with our logo. And before we say goodnight, please check the back of your program for a gold star. Those with the gold star are going to take the floral centerpiece home to enjoy a little bit longer. So following the ribbon cutting, you can find us at the Edgewater Grill. We'd love to see you. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
So my name is Tom Johnson. I'm the Director of Member Engagement at Greater IC. And we do about 30 ribbon cuttings a year with the help of our ambassadors. It's a lot of fun, celebrate local business, but it's also important to take a moment of gratitude. So first off, thank you to the ambassadors who are here. This is great. Thank you for joining us. Yes, awesome. And we are celebrating, of course, a new brand. And it was a collaborative process with the team, coming up with the name, but in particular, Krista Hirschberger facilitating the process. Huge shout out to Krista. And Robin Hepker, yes, Krista, excellent. Our Director of Marketing and Communications. And she worked with Robin Hepker. I don't know if Robin's still here, probably somewhere out and about, but to design this new brand. So we're super pumped about it. And then the annual event meeting itself, our host Hyatt, obviously. E is E with E Florals. E, huge shout out to E on the floral arrangements and the table arrangements. Great work, E. As well as Maria Schussler, planning the staging, planning this event. You can thank her if you enjoyed your time. And then last but not least, just the greater IC community. Huge thank you for coming out tonight and supporting us. So let's get some photos first. Nancy, if you want to hold one of the blades. Is Jenny coming back? Is Jenny Wunderlich? No? Jenny, your presence is requested. Okay, so with these ribbon cuttings, we get a photo first, then we cut it, get the last photo, and then that's it. So do you want to hold a, yeah. Yeah, yes, okay. Yeah, Nancy. Also, can we see the brand? We want to make sure that's visible in the photo. Okay, so let's get some photos. And then we're going to count down from 5 if you guys want to help me. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.